Hi, here's a quick reading for what are you leaving behind this full moon? What are you leaving behind? So I just did a quick reading and a lot of piles showed that we're all leaving something behind. And so this reading is for what are you leaving behind? So it's a general reading. Just take what served you, leave the rest. Take a deep breath, follow your own intuition, and decide if one of these readings has a message for you. It'll be pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. 1, 2, all 3. Let's get started. Okay, pile 1. What is pile 1 leaving behind for this full moon? Deceiving yourself. You're leaving behind any place where you've been kind of lying to yourself, sugarcoating over things, or even deceiving yourself. You're leaving behind any lack of motivation. You're leaving behind a lot. You're leaving behind the inability to let go. Oh, wow. Wow, you've got a big shedding here. You've got a big shedding. Okay. You are leaving behind fear. You're becoming more confident because you're now learning to trust yourself because you're not deluding yourself in any ways. And these are like just natural human things where we tell ourselves a story about a thing. And a lot of people are waking up from their own stories right now. So then we realize, oh, I was kind of lying to myself about that thing. So that's just one of these cases of just being human. I'm not saying that you're a deceptive liar, pants on fire person or anything. Okay. You're leaving behind the rebellion without a cause. Yeah, you're gonna have a cause. If you would rebel in the future, it'll be because you have a cause. You've completed a karmic cycle. So all of that doubting yourself and the lack of motivation and the holding on to things too long, it was like karmic. That was a pattern that you were trying to break out of, and it looks like you have successfully done so. You are leaving behind a lack of support, and I would guess this is a lack of support for yourself. You haven't been motivated to support yourself because maybe you were lying to yourself about needing it. You are leaving behind a lack of support. Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to go on to pile number 2. I hope that was helpful. Hi, pile 2. What are you leaving behind this full moon? What are you leaving behind? You are leaving behind the practice of needing to detox. So you're leaving behind feeding yourself certain things that are toxic. You are leaving behind a lot of toxicity. You are leaving behind any blocks that kept you from creatively expressing. You may be leaving behind a hobby that you've outgrown. You're leaving behind the unhealthy need for control. Yeah. You are leaving behind physical altercations, bumping your head on things, not seeing um, the truth about, how the toxic things are kind of hitting you. You're leaving behind being a bully or a bully in your life. Maybe there was a bully that stopped you from expressing yourself creatively earlier on that's been living in your head. You're leaving behind a person. There's a breakup or a pain that you held on to from breaking up. Yeah. You're leaving behind addiction. Yeah, this detox here. Addictive substances. And psychological warfare, which is part of what that power struggle was. So you're leaving behind the person who told you you couldn't make music, perhaps. You're leaving behind the addictions to the toxic substances that keep making you hit your head on things, or get, bumps and bruises that you don't need. And you're leaving behind the pain of a relationship that involved psychological warfare, whether it been a romantic or parental figure or just someone who just tried to do power struggles on you. You're leaving behind the need to find a sign. You're leaving behind what you thought was once a sign. Yeah. You're leaving behind the procrastination. Or you're leaving behind the need to go, go, go. Oh, yeah. Maybe you were just on the go all the time as a way to avoid this calling that your soul had to make music, to be who you really are, to express yourself in that way, because of this bully that kind of deterred you from it. You're leaving behind the need to avoid. Yeah, you're leaving behind the need to avoid. Okay, I hope that helps. See you next time. Hi, Pile 3. What are you leaving behind for this full moon? You are leaving behind the quest for something better, the eternal quest for something better. Maybe you're going to start living more in the moment. Yeah, you're like always thinking of something better to do, somewhere better to live. Like, I believe you're leaving behind planning for the future so much. Yeah, you're leaving behind, leaving your locus of control outside of yourself, meaning your happiness and things are dependent on something outside of yourself, like the thought of a promise of something new. A moment. Okay, you are leaving behind vegetarian. Maybe some judgments that you had about people who just eat vegetables. Like, I feel like maybe some decisions you made about the way you eat. You're leaving behind the judgment you had about vegetarianism. What? You're leaving behind. Yeah, looking for the next best thing. You're leaving behind looking for the next best thing. You're going to be living in the moment. You're not going to be looking for all these solutions, because this is a new way of eating. So we have new opportunity, new location, new way of eating. It's like, and if this is what you're leaving behind, I believe that you're going to start accepting yourself for who and how you are, and leave behind all that need to look elsewhere and look for improvements all the time. That smothering. Always think of the mother that's too close and too involved, and that kind of reeks of this information of trying to grow so much. It's like you're gonna leave that behind, that need to always do that. Soldier, that it's kind of like this driven force that you had to always just go forward, move forward, like a soldier. You're leaving that behind. We've got gout here, and perhaps that's an actual ailment that you have, but gout is a crystallization of acid in the joints. And it makes movement very painful. And I believe we need to look up a metaphysical correlation to it, which I used to know, so I don't know why it's blanking out on me right now. It's like you've been stuck in a certain way of doing something for so long. Yeah, like this was put into you like a soldier is trained, right? And it was probably done by your mother, but it was like a good intention, right? Because we want to grow and learn and always be better. But we can't do it to the detriment of who and how we are right now. So I do believe that what you're leaving behind is this need to always push yourself, this need to always find the lesson, this need to always be fixing. Yeah, it's like an addiction to self-help. Gosh, I hope this is not my pile. Maybe it is. I don't mean that when I say I hope this is not my pile. I guess it's like me feeling as a human being called out, and you may feel that way too, like called out. Because yeah, I feel a little bit teary, because there's part of me that wants to be acknowledged and recognized for my devotion to myself and to being better and doing better. So you may feel that as you let go of this. But there is something better on the other side. There's freedom. There's freedom to enjoy the moment. There's freedom to enjoy and celebrate what you already have achieved, which is so much. And there's the freedom to balance out the living in the now, the reminiscing about the past, and the planning for the future. A balance, a more balanced approach to this process. This process being, you don't need to be a soldier about this process anymore. It wasn't wrong for you to do it up to this point. Okay? Let's make sure we take that into consideration, because when we leave something behind, it doesn't mean it was wrong that we did it or had it or were it. Okay? It's very interesting, because as I realize this, like look at this in a glance for myself, it's like vegetarian, yeah. I actually have been expanding my diet again and including more things than I used to just eat vegetables. So interesting. Yeah, things are changing, things are loosening up. Well, enjoy the freedom. Enjoy the freedom of leaving behind such a strict regimen of self-improvement. Enjoy life.